Calling Tangipahoa Parish School Board meeting Tuesday, April 4th, 2023 to order. Roll call.
Ms. Richards,
Present.
Mr. Toller,
Here.
Ms. Abrams,
Here.
Mr. Westmoreland,
Present.
Mr. Duncan,
Here.
Mr. Anthony,
Here.
Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Piazza,
Here.
Ms. Dominguez.
Present. At this time, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance and the patriotic song. Mr. Duncan?
I don't have any song tonight, but I do have two representatives from Roseland Elementary School that are going to come up. Kamira and Kiera are going to come up to the microphone and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
And then you're gonna sing?
I'm not. No, I didn't ask anybody to sing. Right here. I think Brett said.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking this. I'm going to save all of you from it. Y'all tell everybody your name for us.
Kamaya. My name is Kira.
All right. Y'all want to sing too? Just start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Voluntold.
By the way, before we get started, I just want to say how conflicted I am because I have Ponchatoula High and Amite High in the house, which is very good for me to see. Just saying, since I have both of them.
Okay. At this time, we will go to item D, consider approval of board minutes of March 21st, 2023.
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Westmore? Okay. Ms. Rose? Second. Any questions? Call to vote?
Voting is now open. Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. At this time, we're going to make an adjustment. We're going to move item 3B up. A resolution approving the sale of the Tangipahoa Parish government of 2 acres fronting on Highway 1062 for a price of $34,937.80. And authorizing the superintendent to sign on behalf of the Tangipahoa Parish School Board a purchase agreement, act of sale, and all related documents for the sale. Mr. Jeff?
Mr. Kudrain is here if you have any questions on this. This is the sale of the 2 acres to Tangipahoa Parish government for the building of a library in LaRonger. The price is based on the acreage price that we paid originally purchasing the full acreage. So we ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second. By Mr. Toller and second by Ms. Abram. Any questions?
Yeah, okay, so where is this property located? Is this, and this is in LaRonger, is
It's
that?
LaRonger.
So was that the 40 acres that we just purchased a few years
Yes.
ago? Right. Does the portion of the property that we're selling, where on that property is that? Is that across the front?
Yes, Mr. Morgan, it fronts on Highway 1062. It's on the southeast corner, the corner of the property.
Okay.
Is it closer, it's closer to the existing high school now or further
To the back.
to the back?
I can't answer that particular question. I know it's on the southeast corner of the 40 acres that you just purchased.
Okay.
It's southeast.
Sits on Highway, yes.
Southeast corner, so
Yes.
southeast, closer to the house.
Okay.
It's by the house.
That was going to be my question. It says there's an Exhibit A, but there's no Exhibit A attached. I looked at this yesterday.
Yes, sir, at the
And-
time I generated that, we just got the survey that's in.
Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, what I just heard is that we're paying a per acre price based on what we spend as a whole, but we're selling off a large chunk of road frontage, which is more valuable, which I'm not going to buck that, but I would like to see exactly what it is that we're selling. If you can just hold it up even.
It was with the agreement.
Can we
when
pass that
purchased
up here?
This property that we
Thank you.
would sell 2 acres to the library. Yeah, the high school's here, so it's right here.
Okay, the road,
Yeah.
So there's a road on.
where's the road closest to the high school, do you know? Miss Stella,
Brett might be able to tell you.
That's next to the
High
road.
school.
right there.
It's right there on the corner.
Turn down the road.
Now, would it be beneficial to put it on the floor?
On that road right
And that's 1060.
There's roads on each side.
Yeah, but
I'll wait
you
till you
can't,
get through.
it's gonna be towards the backside, isn't it?
The highway is that, what road is that? Is that a road in the back or is that just,
This is all
so adjoining property?
We could sell some more, but I'll explain.
So here's Highway 40. This is our school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, so let's say,
Well,
here in front of it, let's say.
This is the 40 acres that we purchased.
I thought there.
That's where the library's gonna be. And the idea being that it would be in the middle of between the existing
Yeah,
campus.
so towards the back. So
It
the
would be all part of our overall big line, the library.
Fit right into the
Just to, Madam Chairman, just to clarify, because I know what Trent's thoughts were, because I had the same thoughts, obviously, if you take a 40-acre piece of land and you break it down into smaller pieces, we obviously could sell this on the private market and make more money on that, but that's not what we do. We're not here to sell real estate or to try to make money on the parish. What we did with this, if I remember right, the parish was actually approached first about buying this property, and then the parish came to us and said, we don't need this much land for a
Right.
library. Y'all could use the rest for a school, but we need this 2 acres to put a library. The second side of that is we're going to benefit because now we're going to have a school next to a
And a-
public library.
Right.
So our students will be able to utilize the resources at the library. So this is a win-win for the parish, win-win for the school system, and we're giving them a fair price, what we paid for the land.
Not only that, where they're putting this library, once we do build our new high school, the middle school will take over the existing high school, so the middle school will be able to utilize that library as well.
Right.
So it's going to be in a good spot for both.
Yes, win-win.
Just to add some clarity, I wasn't really criticizing the contract. I was just making sure that I didn't know what the property was shaped like, and I didn't want them to take every single foot of our road frontage. So
The frontage,
that's why I
yeah.
wanted to check that out.
Okay. All right. Call the vote.
Voting is now open.
Mine's not coming up, yes.
I'll vote for you.
Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, awards and recognition. At this time, we would recognize Amite High Magnet School Lady Warriors basketball team as Division III Girls Basketball State Runner-Up. Mr. Mark?
Good evening, Board. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to spin around now. Ladies, y'all join. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Vining. I'm Coordinator of Athletics for Tangipahoa Parish. I have the wonderful opportunity of recognizing some amazing basketball teams this year. First off, we're going to start with Amite High. I'll ask Coach Pierre. Coach Pierre, would you come forward? Is Dr. Ford with you tonight? You didn't make it tonight? Okay. Coach Pierre is going to come with all her coaching staff. Come down as well, please. Thank y'all. Coach Pierre is going to introduce her coaching staff, then she's going to introduce each player as she calls each player by name. They'll come forward. Please hold your applause. At the end, we'll give them a big round of applause, okay?
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
Just making sure it works. My first coaching staff, on coaching staff is LaDeja Brown, Coach Ron Jackson, and absentee is Coach Sharika Muse. We will start with our one and only senior, Alasia Williams. And while you're clapping, I guess I'll go ahead and let you know that Alasia is a signee of Delgado Community College, so she will be furthering her education there on next year. Our first junior, Haley Broomfield. Miracle Irving. Kalia Tobias. Jalen Johnson. Sanaya Addison. Brianna Tillman. Ajay Collins. Brianna McKnight. Reginald Williams. That's my junior class. I have two sophomores, one out, she had a surgery on today, so she's out today. My only sophomore I have here is Alexis Moore. Freshmen, Kayla Tofield, Denaja Ruffin, Renee Harris, Desney Tate, Anaya Williams, and Zaria Burton.
If you're a family member, would you please stand, please? Let's give them a round of applause. Thank y'all for coming out. The plaque reads, presented to Amite High Magnet School girls basketball in recognition of being the 2023 state runner-up for Division III non-select. Their record was 26-5. Also, too, folks, if you realize they won the state championship last year. That is a wonderful tribute to the coaching staff and to the players that they did make it back with it. And they had a lot of adversity this year. And notice also, too, how many seniors did they have?
One.
Okay. So, Coach, we're not putting any pressure on you, okay? All right. But thank y'all. Thank you so much for all you do for the program and for the school system.
That's right.
Take him out.
So, well, I think he's got it. He's going to do it. No, you're going to call the next item, right? Mr. Vining, next up is to recognize the Ponchatoula High School's Lady Green Wave basketball teams as the Division I non-select girls basketball state runner-ups. So,
next, I'll call up Coach Landash, please, and her coaching staff, please. Come on, coaching staff.
All right, y'all, before we start, I just want to say thanks again to y'all for hosting us and having us here again tonight. And Coach Pierre, great job, great job. I'm a fan, I am a true fan. And to be here tonight with the boys team, Coach Tom, I'm so proud of y'all. Can't wait to see you. My coaching staff, I have right here Coach Christy Gill. She's not only one of our coaches, she is also an assistant principal. So she was double dipping this year and really working hard, you know, all day at school and then coming at night with us. And so I really appreciate you. And she's representing our admin tonight. Coach Lauren Long, Coach Dana Angraffia, and Coach Kayla Lee. And not present tonight is Coach Amanda Miller and Morgan Crane. So those are, I have a big coaching staff because they got to keep me sane because I get a little crazy. But, okay, so I'm going to start with my freshmen. I don't have any freshmen. Okay, let's go to my sophomores. Okay, so my first sophomore will be Alyssa Hillard. And y'all clap at the end. All right, Denasia Chappell. Did I say it wrong? I said it wrong, huh? Chappelle. Maya Joseph. Isabella Hutchinson. All right. So those are my sophomores. Oh, wait, Audrey, you hiding. Audrey Williams, my bad. She's on the next row. All right. So I had two girls that were hurt this year. So I have a freshman, Mia Grady. She's a freshman. She was out this year. And then a sophomore, Gianna Winters. Oh, a freshman. Jeez. Okay. I'm going to catch up in a minute. And another one that was hurt. That's a freshman, Jill Joseph. All right. My juniors, I have two of them. Morgan Watkins and Jasani Watts. And then my senior class this year, I have Miss Ruby Williams right here, and Liliana Bush, and Miss Amaya Gervais couldn't get off work tonight. Then I have Libby Thompson, who has signed to go to Loyola to play next year. And I have Taylor Jackson, who signed to go to LSU Shreveport. Then I saved two of my favorites for last. One of the most handsome managers ever, Mr. Tony Dow. And then truly one of the best managers I have ever had in the history of coaching basketball is AT, Miss Adriana Thomas. If you know of any colleges out there looking for a great manager, she's the one. So.
It reads, and also too, these group of girls last year won the state championship as well. So, this is, we just reload in Tangipahoa Parish. We don't rebuild, we just reload, okay? So they do a wonderful, these lady coaches, Coach Pierre and Coach Landash, we couldn't be more blessed to have them in the parish. So. All right. The plaque reads, presented to Ponchatoula High School girls basketball in recognition of being the 2023 state runner-up in Division I non-select with a record of 28-10. Congratulations, Coach.
Coaches need to get some hands.
Cindy, Coach needs to get, Cindy, Coach needs to get in front.
Don't let them hide.
Get around to the edge.
The coaches get out there and take credit.
All right. And finally, living out the long legacy of state championships in basketball, that Kim Mulkey at least was doing for us back in the 1980s. So we are continuing that legacy and tradition. But tonight we recognize the Ponchatoula High School boys Green Wave basketball team as the Division I non-select boys basketball state champions.
Thank you, Mr. Nuck, and I appreciate that. But before we go on, family members of the ladies, are there anyone, family members here? Please stand. Let's give it a round. If you did not catch one of the Ponchatoula High School boys basketball games this year, you missed an opportunity to see some young men that work very hard together and a coaching staff that works hard. Every one of these student athletes in here had an amazing year and worked very hard. I also wanted to mention Ms. Thompson. Ms. Thompson was also the three-point champion in the All-Star game. Congratulations, Ms. Thompson. And also, not only can she shoot, she does well in the classroom, academic all-state as well, correct? So now, I'll call Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor is the head basketball coach at Ponchatoula High. Would his coaching staff come forward as well, please? He'll introduce his coaching staff and also his players.
All right. Thank you for having us, school board members and people. It's going to be kind of a light crowd once the basketball filters out. I'm thinking it's going to be a little light. All right. Like I said, my name's Tom Taylor. I'd like to introduce my assistant coaches. First up, we have Ewan Thorne. We have Danny Dunn. Melvin Hewland. And not able to make it tonight is Mr. Gary Polk. All right, I'm going to introduce my players, and I guess it's not a banquet. I can't talk about each of them. I'd like to, but I can't. I'm going to start with my young guys, my 10th graders. We're going to go with Corey Jackson. Cedric Brazil. Cody Alnaziat. Reese Elzy. Jarvis Labie. And Caleb Seaberry. All right. We're going to go to my junior class. Jeremiah Lewis. Alan Graves. Taj Jackson. Todd Bodie. And Noah Farina. And before I get to my seniors, I want to recognize two of my key cogs in the wheel here, two of my managers. They do I tell them they're one of the most important jobs besides, what we do. Some of the jobs they do allow us to be better, more effective coaches. So Reese Thorne and Ethan Pelche. I have a senior who can't be with us tonight. He had to work. Damarian Milton. Then my last two seniors are Trey Parham and Cameron Collier. I want to say how proud I am of each and every one of them. They are a team that truly love each other and played for each other, and it's amazing what can happen when you set a goal and work with each other to achieve it. So congrats, guys. Thank y'all.
I don't know if you realize, but this state championship team started out 0-3. Okay? So, that's a tribute to the coaching staff and to the players, how they persevered and kept working and got better. So the plaque reads, presented to Ponchatoula High School boys basketball team in recognition for winning the 2023 state championship, Division I non-select, with a record of 29-7. Congratulations. If parents of these young men, would you please stand? Any parents, family members of these young? Thank y'all so much for coming out.
Daddy, you gotta get up front. You're too short.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to get on that before she gets there.
Coach.
Coach, you gotta get on the end. He's standing almost behind her. On the clear on the hill. Cindy, coach,
The coach is not in the picture.
He wanted to get in the back.
Okay. Can you see him?
I can't.
I can see him. And it's in the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the view. They're the two tallest people up there. That's from the Congratulations. I'm doing good. Yes, I'm telling you. No green wings.
I was this tall before I started education, okay? So, I did shrink a little bit. Education did that to me, and I also had hair at the time, too. But I want to introduce Alan. Alan Graves was the MVP for the state championship game. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Appreciate this. Keep working hard. Those younger underclassmen, you have a lot of big shoes to fill. Not saying that you can't do it. You just look at, you had a prime example of close to home, your team, and also what LSU did as well. So, hey, the sky's the limit, but you just got to put in that hard work. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Appreciate it.
Just a second before you leave. At this time, I just want to recognize, because they're here, and to say how much we appreciate them, because we know that, it starts from here. And we have our coach, pastor, sheriff, just all names with us that's over the A-Meet Biddy basketball. So it starts for us here. And we just want to recognize you and my best friend, LaShawn. Would y'all please stand and give them a hand? I'm sure we have some bitty basketball players in here, right? Yes, thank you.
So we're going to take a 5-minute recess, so anybody that doesn't want to stay for all of the business that we're going to attend to.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.
Okay, calling the meeting back to order. Item 3A. Am I right, Miss Cindy?
Yep.
We're right? Okay. Consider approval to refer policy GBRIB, sick leave, to the policy committee. Mr. Joy Piazza?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to refer policy GBRIB to policy committee for revision and possible updates. I also would like to make a motion to bend the rules and add another policy to the policy committee, and that would be policy GBRL under personnel. Yeah, it's going to be two
Have to do it
different
separate.
policies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's do one.
They'll start with this one, and then we'll.
Okay.
Well, you gotta waive the rules to add that to the agenda.
GBRL.
Okay.
Yes.
Not doing
Yeah,
that yet.
that's the next one.
We have to waive the rules to add that to the agenda, right?
Yes. That's my motion.
Tell them what you were doing.
So the first one would be to have a motion to send this one to policy, and then I have a motion.
Let's do that one.
So the first
Yes.
motion is for 3A to send this to policy, and I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Joy, second by Mr. Toller.
Call for the question.
Okay. I like that. Call to vote.
Yes. For me.
Voting is open.
Mr. Westwood. Mr. Westwood. Ms. Richards?
Yes. I don't know why mine's not coming up on my.
Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
And then, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to also put on the agenda to transfer policy GBRL to policy committee.
Motion is to waive the rules.
Waive the rules, sorry.
Add to the agenda a referral of policy G what?
GBRL under personnel. GB.
As in boy.
GBRL
Yes.
to the policy committee.
So the first motion is just to
waive
waive
it.
the rules and add it to the agenda.
Okay.
Requires unanimous consent.
Right. Okay. Call to vote?
No second.
No second?
No, I'll second it.
Mr. Duncan, second.
Just a question, what is that policy?
So that policy, so this one looks at like holiday schedule. Right now, currently as it sits, we have a 2-schedule system where you have 12-month employees in one column and you have another set of 12-month employees in another column. The revisions would look at possibly merging. It has been brought up to administration. Administration also recommends it, but there are some things we need to discuss about it before we vote on it.
Just trying to figure out
Okay.
what policy it was.
Okay. Call to vote to waive it?
To waive and add
Add to the agenda.
Voting is now open.
Yes for me.
Yes.
Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. So now that we have unanimous,
So now the motion is to
Now the motion is to add the policy GBRL to the policy committee.
committee. Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Toller?
Motion to add, yeah, they have to do the motion.
Yes.
The motion is to refer it?
before you call a question, you need to
Motion to refer.
Okay.
add it to the agenda.
Since it was added, is there any public input? No. Okay. Any other questions? Call to vote. Mr. Duncan. You didn't second?
Yeah, I seconded. I thought you were asking if I had a question.
Voting is now open.
Okay.
Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Awesome. Ready? Okay. Item C, consider approval of an end of the school year stipend for employees with perfect attendance starting after Easter, April 17th through the end of the school year, May 24th, of $1,000. Ms. Steele?
Thank you, Madam President. The administration would like for the board to consider this $1,000 end-of-the-year stipend for employees based on perfect attendance starting after Easter until the end of the year. As you stated, for $1,000 for each employee that has perfect attendance. And our team has looked at, we gave in April, just to regroup, in April of last year, in 2022, in April, we gave, the board approved $1,000 stipend, at that time, we were using COVID funds related to the pandemic, so it was given for extra duties and things like that from the due to the pandemic. Then in December of 22, the board approved $1,000 stipend. We were using some federal funds to pay for that, and so it was tied to the pandemic as well. And we asked our employees to watch some videos. I think there were 3 videos specifically that related to the pandemic and response to any widespread outbreak of any sort in the future. So in 2022, those were 2 stipends that were given. So for this year, for starting off for 2023, for this end of the year, really strong finish, part of our school year, we would ask the board to consider this. The executive team has discussed this along with Mr. McNeely, and we feel like the savings from substitutes that we would save, along with some interest that we've earned in our banking account, we could pay for this stipend for our employees. So that would be our recommendation.
I have a question, Ms. Janice. Only problem that I see with this, we have a lot of students that will be graduating, and so parents may have to miss for pre-K graduations, kindergarten graduations, a lot of teachers, or 8th grade graduations. Are we going to penalize them because they have to go to their child's graduation and not give them this $1,000 stipend because they're missing a day of school? I'm just
well, if they take leave, they would be counted absent.
Yeah.
A lot of teachers leave and come back.
Yeah. My question is what if it's an
Just a
emergency?
second, hold up. We need a motion.
First and a second?
Yeah, we need a motion.
I'll move to approve the administration's recommendation.
Okay. Mr. Duncan? Second, Mr. Westmoreland? Okay, now, question.
So my question to administration is, I've gotten a lot of calls on this. I've gotten a lot of input on it, and there's 2 sides of this coin. You can vote it down and nobody gets a raise, or you can vote it and a select few get a raise, and it's a tough decision to make as a board member. But here's the question I have: what if it's an emergency? So, like a good example, what if a parent dies? You're now going to penalize a teacher for something that's out of their control. It's an act of God. Is there any way we could put maybe a few revisions in here for emergency circumstances? Like, I get the kindergarten thing because I'm a parent. I completely understand that, and I'm missing a T-ball game tonight. I get it, trust me. But like Tom said, some principals will allow you to go off campus for an hour or 2, come back, as long as it's not an all-day deal. That's not the issue that I'm facing. But people do get sick. What about COVID? What if they catch COVID? What if the dad dies, or a immediate family member dies? That's something out of their control. They may have been here all year long on campus in great attendance. Is that going to be taken into account when we're given the stipend?
Yeah, and I understand that, and I know when we do this, if we do this, we're going to get hit by people toward the end of the year that have got these great stories, and being the fact that I am sympathetic, I feel for each and every one of those stories. But I will say this, I don't look at it as a penalty. I look at this as a reward, because right now, nobody gets it. The only way that you get it is you earn it through perfect attendance. The same way like kids going through school. How do they get perfect attendance at the end of the year? No absentees. Even when it's tough, and even when you have a kid that has, by no fault of their own, misses one day and loses a 6-year streak, you still, the line is, in the sand. If we make exceptions, we're going to open ourselves up for a lot of exceptions and a lot of debates, and a lot of Mr. Jinko is going to be pulling what Harry's got left out, trying to figure up stuff. So I don't know. That's.
Go ahead. I think you make a good point.
Thank you.
I talked. It is. It's really
Stop
good.
there.
Yeah. No. Not so fast. But we do have an instance. I spoke to, and again, isolated case. I understand, but I have a lady who has a procedure, a teacher whose child has scheduled a procedure that's really hard to adjust and has very good attendance otherwise. So my suggestion would be to offer this $1,000 to all employees with perfect attendance, and if district-wide we can get to 95% or greater attendance for this time frame, it goes to every employee. That way we have a couple, if somebody has to miss because of a child's procedure or graduation, and it's just one isolated incident, I think if we can save on having to hire the substitutes and most people are present, then we're kind of accomplishing the same thing that we started out to do anyway. So I don't know if anybody feels that might be a good idea.
The problem is everybody's going to.
So it's a creative idea, Trent, but just to add on to what Mr. Toller said, in our society, I am seeing too much an effort to just fight for equality of results no matter what, and rather than actually rewarding the people who are doing the hard work and excelling and doing something great. And I like the idea of, at least towards the end of this year, to have an opportunity to say, hey, you did something great, you helped these students, you helped close the year out strong, you did this extraordinary thing of making sure that you did not miss work during this very important time period, and because you did that, you get this reward. I don't think we're doing enough of that right now in society. We're all just so eager to make sure that everybody gets a trophy, no matter what. And, in the spirit of Kim Mulkey and her team that won this championship, did something great, accomplished something great, and are getting a great reward, I think it's a nice thing to say, you know what? No, these people did something great. The people who did something great are going to get this reward.
Can I follow up with that? Yes. That sounds like that works really well too, but what we're gonna do now is say from the person who didn't miss a day from August till April and then has to miss one in May, that although you did great all year, we're not gonna give you anything. However, if you miss 25 days between August and April, and now you have perfect attendance, you get the bonus. I don't know if that's the fairest way to do that.
I'd like to say one thing too on that, but the problem with the percentage thing is I agree. I think that would be a fair way, but the problem is now I have to take into account someone else's work ethic instead of my own. What if somebody decides, okay, well, I don't care about the bonus, I'm not coming, and you have a majority of that? Like, what is our average percentage right now for attendance? Is it close to 95%, or are we way below that?
The attendance rate runs anywhere from 85 to about 92% on any given day. I think that we could have anywhere from 200 to 300 employees out. And we did take into consideration, we were thinking about those circumstances, like, for instance, if an employee tests positive for COVID, we obviously don't, or the flu, we obviously don't want them at school spreading that infectious, the spread of that. So that would be an exception that I think we should consider. And then the other thing would be if we're sending them to a professional development training, they're actually working for us because they're getting, so there are some situations where they have committed already to go to professional development training or a conference for one day, and that should not count against them, we don't feel.
more questions. So are we going to ask for doctor's excuses for COVID or
Yes.
flu?
We would ask for they would have to have a doctor's excuse stating that they had a positive, that they were positive for COVID or the flu.
Okay, can I follow up with Joey's point? Again, what I suggested is perfect attendance employees get the $1,000. But then if district-wide, we reach a certain level of attendance, then everybody gets it. That, again, it gives everybody, it does turn into a socialist experiment. But basically, it entices everyone to get the $1,000 for sure, you have to do it. And then if district-wide, if everybody complies, then everybody gets it. So they're gonna have to be on campus, they're gonna have to do their job, otherwise they're not going to get it. So I think they're going to entice one another to please be present. So I think we kind of accomplished what we're going after either way.
So are you making that in the form of a motion? An
I mean, I
amendment?
can, yes,
But before you go there, are you saying that you agree with the administration's suggestion, but that you feel there should be exceptions that are written in?
Yes, sir. Actually, if y'all want to hear what my motion would be, I would motion that a $1,000 stipend be offered to employees with perfect attendance and to all employees provided we achieve 95% attendance district-wide during that time period.
Could you state that again, please?
So if we don't attend, if we don't get that 95, then nobody gets to.
No, just
all the ones
people
that are
with perfect attendance do,
Okay.
but the others do not.
So if everybody else gets us to 95%, the people who didn't help us get to 95% also
Yeah,
gets a
yeah.
$1,000 stipend. That's his motion.
Yes.
So you'd add at the end of what you have there. What do you say?
Can we add to exclude COVID and flu? Just make sure that's in there, those restrictions. That way it don't count towards that 95.
And professional development.
And professional development, can we add that in there? Trent?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I mean,
Is 95 a lofty goal? Because if you're doing this, it needs to be something that's really hard to attain, because we need all 2,000 people working to try to attain that. Is 95 high enough? Because if we're at 92 on a regular basis, 95 might not be a big stretch.
that's correct. I mean, I don't mind if it goes to 96 or 97. It just gives that teacher who has a child's surgery the potential to be off a half a day or a day. I mean, I just don't think it's fair to somebody who was there the majority of the school year and has to take off one day at the end and lose their stipend.
Well, why not make that exception? Why give a reward to the people who didn't help them achieve 97% if your only objective is to say, is to add an additional exception that says that a teacher that needs to attend their child's graduation for an hour or two would not lose consideration?
Mine is a medical procedure. I think it's going to be an entire day absence. My example is medical.
And that's what paid sick leave is for.
Yeah,
But anyway,
they lose a stipend for the child having a surgery.
They would lose a perfect attendance reward because they didn't have perfect attendance.
But the people that miss 25 days going into this and then work 25 days will then get it. So.
Okay, I think
That's a question I had. So you, not to berate anybody, because if people have a lot of days, some teachers tend to take one day a week, all year, and then now we're gonna get to the end of the year, and they're gonna hit that 28 days because they wanna get $1,000, but they've already missed one day a week or every other week for the whole year, but they get rewarded. And it's kind of hurtful to the people in the classroom that never missed a day the whole entire year, and their daddy died and they have to go to a funeral, but they not miss one day the whole entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna encourage team building
It should.
within the district.
It should.
That's what it'll do.
How do you figure that?
The objective though is to try and encourage a specific action going forward. We can't undo what has already happened. We can't do an incentive to reward, to get someone to do something that's already occurred, but we can put together a package that incentivizes perfect attendance between now and the end of the school year. You know, that's what we can address going forward. But we can't undo what's already happened.
Right.
And, you know, testing starts basically when we get back from Easter. So it is important that we have all hands on deck.
Okay, well, Trent, do you want to go ahead and put it out there?
Can we say that motion one more time, Trent?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to motion that a $1,000 stipend be offered to employees with perfect attendance and to all employees provided we achieve 95% attendance district-wide for the time period being discussed.
And I
you're gonna say the
second.
COVID?
Oh, and excluding of COVID, and can you add that?
Yeah, I mean, if we can, do I need to? Excluding individuals that are diagnosed with COVID or the flu.
Can I ask a question to administration? Do we have the report to measure that? What in other words, can we print, I know we can print the report that gives us a list of every employee with perfect attendance. I saw that, I have a copy of it. But can we get that report?
It's not going to say that percentage, we have to do a lot of hand calculations, to get an actual percentage. Doesn't our program spit out this percent of people are here today? It does, it counts everybody and may be repetitive for the time period. So we have to go through individuals and then do a percentage.
And then take out COVID, flu, but you would say, okay.
And then, another question, please. So as far as money,
Yeah.
so how would you address that in the budget?
Hang on.
Oh, nobody second? I thought Joey seconded it.
Joey's-
I
Joey
second it.
You second, Joey?
Second.
Okay. How about money?
Well, I think it would potentially double it. I mean, I think we were thinking about 50% probably would be able to qualify for it. We have about $1 million in interest excess, and then the money that we would save from ESS on, so it would be probably an additional $1.5 million. And I would say, I understand what you're doing, but I think the hand calculation to try to come to this 95% with 3,000 employees is, we might can get them a check by October.
Now-
It's gonna take a while to do that calculation, as opposed to running a report of, here's the people who were perfect attendance.
Again, I'm just asking, because we just did a finance committee, do we have the money in the budget to cover 100%? If they achieve the goal, could we give every employee $1,000? Is that in the budget as of right now, if they achieve it?
I believe we could do that just from the, if you have 100%, you're paying ESS nothing from Easter on, and as well as the additional interest.
I'm saying if we get to 95, we still had to pay ESS something.
Right, if we paid, what he's saying is, do we have it in the budget? If we did have to give it to everybody because we achieved 95%, which means also we're paying those substitutes for the ones that didn't come that are still getting the extra check. All of the stuff, the way you said you were paying for this was about the people who were getting the extra check did not require substitutes.
Right. And that's what I'm asking, do we have it in the budget if it happens?
I believe if it happens, we can make that happen. Okay, the money's between the interest and the savings on ESS, yes. But I don't think I don't think there's any way mathematically you're gonna get 100%.
But he's not.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if they, to give everybody a raise, see, with the original administration, you would have.
That's my concern with your motion.
Right.
My concern with doing the 95% is, one, the calculation, and number two,
the cost.
The cost.
The cost.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, because with the original motion, you're gonna have some elimination in there. You're gonna have probably, you may eliminate, let's say 50. We can afford that. But if we go with this motion, do we have the money in the budget to afford that?
Ms. Jana?
That's what I'm curious.
I did do the math real quick. If the system average is missing 1 out of the 28 days, that would be about a 96% attendance.
Can my motion then state, and paraphrasing here, we give the $1,000 stipend to everyone with perfect attendance or everyone with only one absence? Can we give them one day in case some kind of emergency or catastrophe happens.
How about $500 if you have one absence, $1,000 if you have none?
Perfect. I mean, I would, that would be a better compromise for me, yes.
All right, I will do a friendly, if you will withdraw your motion,
I'll withdraw my motion.
All right.
I will do a friendly amendment to my motion
All right.
that approves the recommendation of the administration with the addition that those employees with one absence during this time period, one excused absence during this time period would receive a stipend of $500.
And I second that motion.
Can we be clear and say it's an excuse, doctor, surgery, death, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
It cannot be just taking off to go shopping or getting your hair cut.
Jury duty.
Doctor's excuse or death, or immediate family
So
death.
what absence would?
Hang on.
Someone was sick for a week, that would still.
No, that's a week is one day,
If
one day.
they have COVID and they are.
COVID is already excluded.
excluded.
Flu is
I'm just making
excluded.
sure that we
Flu
don't
and
cover
COVID
that
is
again.
excluded.
Jury is excluded.
Surgery.
Call for vote.
All right.
I second it.
Okay,
Mr.
Joey, let her
Westmoreland
read the
had-
motion.
Okay, wait a
Let's
minute.
put the motion back up, Cindy.
Okay, let's just wait a minute. Okay.
Okay. Ms. Steele?
The motion should be on the screen if you
Motion
want
is
to
to
read
approve
it.
the administration's recommendation with the addition that those employees with one excused absence will receive a stipend of $500.
Okay, but
Excluding those with.
Those, diagnosed.
So
Those diagnosed.
put a period after 500, Ms. Jenkins.
yeah, you gotta add what's approved. I mean, what's
all right.
approved, excused.
The-
A death
all
in
right.
the family or
All right, so not a death in the family. The specific, so after the $500 a period, those employees absent for any period of time for jury duty, COVID, and flu, and who have documentation, would not be considered absent for the purposes of this provision.
So y'all excuse them for jury duty?
Jury duty,
COVID or
COVID, or flu would not be considered an absence for either provision, is what they said earlier.
Okay, well, what's the excused absence then?
That's a separate sentence.
Are you gonna add anything to that then? I mean, if somebody's immediate family member dies, that's
one day.
That's one day.
Yeah, but she's wanting it listed in here. That's what, because right now, as it reads, it's only 3 items.
The excused absence would be at the administration's discretion, their normal excuses.
Yeah.
Can we put that in there? Exactly what you just said, because I think that sums it up perfectly.
The one excused absence, we could say would,
At the
circumstances associated with the excused absence would be at the administration's discretion.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfect.
Could you repeat that again, Mr. Duncan?
The circumstances attributing an excused absence for this provision would be at the administration's discretion. The circumstances for the one excused absence would be at the administration's discretion.
Discretion.
Yeah, don't post pictures from Hawaii.
When people approach us about this and ask us about this and all the different reasons, the bottom line is we're trying to encourage employees to stay at work for the rest of the year to finish strong. Our intent is not to take it away from anybody. This is a reward for doing something that we need.
Well,
One day, not a period of time.
For 1 day.
For 1 day.
The 1 day excused absence provision. Where,
Okay, yeah.
The motion to approve.
hold on, circumstances contributing.
For 1 day.
I'm just making sure.
No, you were right.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I you added it.
You added before the other one, so that looks fine.
Go back to what you had, I'm sorry.
A period of time?
Circumstances contributing an excused absence for the 1 day excused absence for this provision will be at the administration's recommendation. Those employees absent for any period of time for jury duty, COVID, or flu with documentation will not be considered absent for this provision.
He's regretting making that motion.
I'm just trying to get it wording. That's right. Yes.
Circumstances contributing to an excused absence for 1 day, right?
Yes. That's good.
Ms. President?
Yes.
It still doesn't address Joey or Trent's issue with the people who have previously not missed a day.
Well, it does with the discretion of the administration. The administration can make the discretion and say, well,
We can't
Dad
undo
died.
the past.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
you're almost going to make it pointless if you
Yeah.
just try to.
Hey, I get it. We know how many people take off right now.
This shouldn't be
We
this
need them to
difficult
there.
to give money away.
All right, call for the vote.
Okay.
Voting is now open.
I'm sorry, can somebody just read this second sentence? Circumstances contributing to an excused absence for 1 day absence, this provision, I don't understand where the verb and the subject is, so we need to look at that one.
Contributing to an excused absence for 1 day.
Comma, this provision will be at the administration's discretion.
Yeah, the absence is.
The excused absence.
Okay.
Whether it's an excused
Remove the
absence
vote.
or not.
Close it and remove it. No, yeah, that's okay, that's okay. And change, what do you want changed?
So, absence this provision,
One person.
just
I'm
remove.
gonna let Trent word it. My brain is done.
I would take out absence in this.
Yeah, absence this provision, I would just delete.
Yeah.
Okay, save it.
For 1 day would be. Yes.
Is that how, is that
Administration.
correct?
Clear.
Is that clear?
No, take out this and provision,
This and provision.
and then that'll be great. My wife's in England.
And last but not least, the last sentence, those employees, plural.
Any employee,
Thank you.
Any employee.
any employee.
Yeah.
Any employee.
Absent for any period of time for jury.
There's an English teacher cringing somewhere.
Yeah, really. That's my wife. She's gonna.
Wait till you get home, buddy. My wife taught English too.
Any employee absent, that's right, yes.
All right.
Second.
Good to go.
Third,
Voting is now open.
Yeah, baby.
I guess Anthony.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Did I vote?
You gotta do it again. We'll change it.
Okay.
Way to go, Brett.
No, thank y'all.
Now,
Thank you.
verbs, proper prepositions, we gotta get all them in order.
We're going to try to get those checks out by Christmas. Just math. I don't.
That's that 13.
No, our original goal,
I mean, they could do a running count.
yeah, we're going to try to get them out as soon as possible. I mean, we were thinking June 8th, I think, originally, because we could just print a simple report and do it that way. So I'm just saying, we're not sure yet. We'll get them as soon as possible. We'll get a date and let them know.
Okay.
Voting is closed. The motion is unanimous.
Jeff, we got some pretty sharp guys over in the technology department. Couldn't they do a running count so that you wouldn't have to do everything at the end of the year?
That's a good idea, we'll ask.
Yeah.
Make them earn it, huh?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Thank you all, and I'm sure our employees would really appreciate it, and it will come at a much-needed time. Personal privilege. Ms. Rose.
Say go Tigers. Do we really need personal privilege? Congratulations to the basketball kids and coaches that were here. We're really proud of you, and we're really happy that we're able to recognize our students and our student coaches. I think next meeting, Ms. Cindy would like to add to the agenda to give a report on the COSBA convention, and not today.
I'm good.
Good.
No, I have too much to say. Real quick. I had a parent call me the other day, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't want to give the parent's name away or the school's name away or the child's name away. But I had a child in a private school here, and she was struggling academically. She was tested high, but grade-wise was not the best. She was at a 2.85. She was told that she would never be allowed to do dual enrollment at that school. So she leaves, and she's at Ponchatoula, and a year later, her GPA is 3.65. She is already a college freshman excelling in dual enrollment program and now can put the score on her resume. She has a 27 in reading, a 21 composite. When she graduates, she will be a sophomore going to LSU on an academic scholarship. And she just points out that this is what people need to know about our school system. So this child left private school and is excelling at public school and is now better set up for her college career. So kudos to everybody in this room and everybody that's listening and our teachers, and just very proud to hear that.
Congratulations to all of our basketball players, of course, and congratulations to our teachers for trying to get that $1,000 after Easter. But also, I'd like to say that Janice and I and Rose, we attended a national conference this past week, and we gained a lot of knowledge, but we also, one thing that we did gain, we are ahead of some of our neighboring states and around the United States as far as things that we're already implementing. They were bringing up these things that they were doing, and we were all like, we did that 3 years ago. And so I just want to say that some of the things that other states are doing, they're way behind what we're doing, and it made us feel kind of proud that we can actually send Ms. Stilley to go and do some of these conferences and present, because she probably has a lot of knowledge compared to some of the states that are around us. And it was just a good bonding experience, and to be able to network with a lot of people from different states. And I think we brought back a lot that we can implement here.
First thing, I'm going to go ahead and mention, since Rose already beat me to it again, congratulations to Ponchatoula Sports basketball boys and girls and A-Meet for running up. We were talking earlier, I think something's in the water. I think it's swamp water. It trickles down from the top and comes down to the bottom, and always got amazing athletes. Second, and pretty much foremost, is, guys, I can't talk highly enough of our board. I can't talk highly enough of our staff and everybody that goes in our school system day to day. What Trent said only echoes what we all feel and what we see on a daily basis. I know sometimes I don't feel like we're making headway, but I promise you we are, especially in policies that come from this board. I want to thank everybody for what they put in, because I know it's a very thankless job. It's tiring. Thank you for all the constituents that call and make recommendations to me or to other members of the board, because that's what makes policy drive and really impactful. So please keep doing that. And finally, I want to tell my son, sorry I missed your T-ball game tonight. I love you. I hope we had a good game. Again, some things you just got to sacrifice for, and I think I sacrifice for every kid in our school system and staff. But like I said, I can't speak highly of Tangipahoa, and I can't wait to see where we go.
I would like Ms. Cindy to put that on record, that Janice, myself, Ms. Stilley, and Rose attended the national conference in Tampa this week.
It's got to be on the agenda.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ms. Janice, can I make a motion that you start over here for end of the comments next time, so I can beat Rose to a Ponchatoula punch? I'm just picking.
I was just looking that way.
I'm just picking Miss Rose.
But no, I was told that that I could put it in record at this time. At this time, I want to put what Robin said, and I wanted to say that anyway, that we were so proud because we were sitting in sessions and they were trying to come up with creative ideas to keep teachers and to recruit teachers and how to get them certified, and we were sitting there saying, have y'all thought about this? Have you thought, because this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing it. And they were just kind of amazed that it was already being done and it was working. So we were proud of Tangipahoa Parish for that. So we want to put it in record that Ms. Rose, Ms. Robin, Janice, and Superintendent Stilly attended the COSBA Annual Conference March the 29th through April 2nd, Leading and Learning Together. And some of the sessions was like communication skills for bridging the divine, opening the door of opportunity, and ready leaders. So we would like that to enter into.
You also put into the record, Madam President, that Mr. Westmoreland and I attended 12 hours of continuing education at the Conference of School Attorneys on March the 30th to April the 1st,
Yes.
covering both legal and school system related issues.
Yes, sir. Okay, just, yes, just one more and then I'll be finished, okay. Also, we'd like to say to the Broomfield family, we had bought Miss Laverne, Evelyn, and everybody in the community knows her affectionately as Big Mama. She was here at Tangipahoa Parish School Board, and we, and it kind of tears me up because she's Big Mama to me. And we recognized her. Well, she passed, and they had the services while we were out of town, and she was 101. So we wanted to give our condolences on behalf of Tangipahoa Parish School System to the family. Thank you. Ms. Stilly?
Thank you, Madam President. We're going to have to put the superintendent stuff back on the agenda. Because I do have a couple things. Thursday is Spirit Day for LSU in celebration of their championship. And our students can wear LSU color shirts and uniform shorts or pants. We had a principal Zoom today and come to that consensus. So that's Thursday. It's a half a day for students. They're going to do their LSU Spirit. The other thing I wanted to mention is to all of our employees, well, our school-based employees, that, you know, Thursday will be their last day with students. They'll have until April the 17th, which is about a 10-day break, and just want to thank them for what they do every day and ask and challenge all of our employees, especially our school-based employees and bus drivers, to recharge. I call it the 4 R's: recharge, reboot, reconnect, and recenter during this time. Take time to really reconnect with close friends and family, recharge, get a lot of rest, and recenter. When we come back, we'll have, I think it's 28 days. We'll start testing for high school and elementary. We have graduations in May. We have all of our end of the year programs. It'll be a very busy and exciting time. And anyway, I just wanted to, you know, wish everyone a great Easter break, and hope that they're able to achieve all that they want to achieve during that time. Thank you.
Move to enter executive session to discuss the negotiations of the Yoakum Road property and to consider the case Brianna Madeir versus Tangipahoa Parish School System.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.